been you didn't have any chance, did you?
Oh, yes, I have. You just have little stitches like that.
Oh, you did that?
Hey, you didn't
Yeah, it's not fair.
No, that's me. Oh, that's you.
Are you using that thing? Right here's fun. Right here's fun.
Well, you surely are.
Yeah.
Patty, we looked for you all morning long.
You did.
There you go.
You have been banned. You don't have a job. You got action.
Well, you go anymore, I go in and I look around here when everybody's smoking, I'm going right up.
You almost have to, don't you?
Down in your back.
You never done good.
What'd you do?
Back.
I don't know.
Never had a back pain in my life. Never had a headache.
Oh, child. Huh?
Never had a headache.
I don't have any idea, but
He did call. He did call.
good.
They don't know what it's for.
Yeah.
Are these down here?
See right there, from here down to here is great, from here up is not.
Well, you're doing good.
Fine, dead long both guitars. Well, he quit getting paid. That way, he had to quit. He quit getting paid that he could go fishing a couple of days a week. Then if he gets too slow, anymore, everybody's going up there. Well, it's changed. Roads and everything. Yeah, he came out dead.
Are they alike?
Still just alike.
Well, he came back with us there, but
When they got off the same boat.
that's it.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I might not.
I'll be real good. They said they had changed.
Hey, no. No. Yeah, we good. Yeah,
Y'all getting old. Look at some of them.
this tonight. And I couldn't hardly believe it's been 28 years since we all got together. And I couldn't hardly believe I was doing this either, Mitchell. But anyhow, I've been drafted, and they've told me, Miss Smith, Brenda, Alice Faye, all these girls have been working on this, told me everything to say. I've got it down, got it memorized, ready to go. Let's eat. I'm glad that we've all here. Joyce been watching what she's doing. So she got up there at that old cat. So she got up the road. She said, since we're going to be together tonight, said, mine ought to go back and tell Arliss about killing her cat. She goes back over there and knocks on the door, and Arliss comes to the door, and she said, I think I've killed your cat. Arliss said, well, said, I don't know. Said, how do you look? She said, Arliss said, no, said, that ain't what I'm talking about. Said, I'm talking about before you hit him. She said, they got that fixed up, so that worked out pretty good. Now, all the stories that we're going to tell tonight, all the things we're going to pull is, if we pull any, ain't nothing says that there will be anything pulled, but, if we do pull anything, we don't want nobody to get their feelings hurt. We don't want nobody to say, well, I didn't get something pulled on me, or this one got more pulled, or the worst. But anyhow, we're going to pull some things. We want you to just take that in stride, enjoy it, laugh about it, get good, because they're going to give you it. It's that simple. So, that's the way work does.
Every dog has his day.
Every dog's got his day. We're going to talk about the Smith later on today. Okay, before we get too far along, I think it'd be appropriate, since that we've had only 2 classmates that's not with us tonight, that's deceased, that we give a moment of silence to recognize them. I believe Darrell Jaggers and Larry Grant's the only 2. I believe it'd be appropriate for us to remember. And Coop, really, when Coop showed up, I was just thrilled to death. I said, boy, I really like it, And I was just as fine as I could be. I said, I don't have a problem in the world, Mike. I said, they've aged so much. I said, look how gray they are. And then old Tom sneaked around to me and he said, you think you feel good? He said, when Jim Waddell came in, didn't have no hair at all. I said, okay. All, no doubt, got way on down the line. I'm sure about 2/3 of us here, or most of us here, have got grandkids. Is that right? Hold your hand up. Everybody's got grandkids. See, now that tells a little bit about age. Is how many would have kids maybe like 3 years old or less? No. Oh, that's supposed to do that. She's critical, I'm not. Oh. Has anybody got a kid 3 years or less? Okay, now we're going to get down into the serious part of it. We're going to get down to eating. Once we get through eating, later on here after a while, you see that the place set up over here to take pictures. We're going to take pictures of the seniors and the senior sponsors. We want you to eat so you'll be filled out, looking good. You've got a wide view camera and everything, so don't worry about these things. So we want you to eat and enjoy it. We're going to visit.
Now you look handsome. Everybody can hear us. Let my charge up.
in after 1:30. Nevertheless, several met and worked on it and tried to organize this thing, and it's turned out good. I think everybody, if we left right at this point, could say we've enjoyed ourselves. I think after a few other points, we'll say we've enjoyed ourselves more in. Believe it with us. I appreciate Pauletta. She's put up with me during this. I've boxed up gifts, strung them out the floor, and reboxed them, and she's tagged them, and she's put up with me trying to get this thing organized and get it set up. She's helped me and worked on it, and I appreciate it. She's probably not going to believe anything y'all tell on me tonight either. Did everybody enjoy the meal? That was a good meal. I liked it real well. I think Alice Faye's done a good job. She's decorated the place. I hope, didn't get caught stealing this corn. She was getting out here in cornfields, cutting corn and getting all this stuff. But nevertheless, she's done a good job. You know, they've all worked hard on it, and I appreciate it. You know, I don't know how Billy Cookenroad got to be vice president and then got out of him seeing this thing tonight. So I think we'll give him a booze right real quick. But anyhow, needs to be congratulated for showing up. I think it speaks well that everybody wanted to get together and still respected each other, enjoying each other's friendship down through the year. Look forward to this night. Now we're going to get down to some serious memories now. And of course, you may not remember some of these things. Again, you may. After it's brought up, you may remember a whole lot of things. Now, if the spouses would not get too terribly upset, but if there's any problems tonight now, we got two of the local attorneys, and they're outside the door here in case there's going to be any divorces. So we didn't want you to have to go to town or anything. So we got that all organized and set up. Does anybody remember Miss Mansfield's government class? I would have asked if anybody remembered Miss Mansfield, but I know everybody held up their hand. Well, it just so happened that we had a boy that was in the class at that time, a fella, and he fooled around, and he never, he says he always listens. If Dana will get that out, she's going to help to get this junk out. He always said that he knew what was going on. Of course, when Miss Mansfield asked about the presidential cabinet and asked James Craddock, you can sort of figure what he said. And since I wasn't in that class and Michael's going to tell you about it. So y'all listen to Mike here. James, he said he knew what she was telling or what she was asking, and he was trying to answer it. But I don't think he knows what she's asking, Mitch.
They were always the wit's end, and she's one thing to tell everybody what the kitchen cabinet were, presidential kitchen cabinet. And James said, anybody already knows that, because the cabinet every dish is in. One of the few times that they ever got him on this cabinet, I think he was speechless, but
my understanding, he went on into more detail than what Mike said. He was talking about it had to consist of doors and drawers and said facsimiles thereof in the works. He had to throw 2 or 3 big words in on it. But he got it. Anyhow, of course, Miss Mansfield not forgave him either. But, of course, you know how James was. That's the type of humor he always had. Still got it. Still got it, Anyhow, Daniel, here's another little plaque. You don't get by this once around here. You might get 2 or 3. I don't know, this is sort of like, what's it say there?
James Craddock, the Will Rogers of the 60s.
He had that droll humor, told jokes, that sort of kept us all sort of occupied at the time. Still does. Still the same old jokes. It works. We'll tell you more about it, but what he told us other night, it's what really got the most of us. I'd forgot it, but they told me that sometime down in the gym, that we was down there sometime at a some event and decided after it's over with that we'd play spin the bottom. I forgot about this. James is the only one who remembers it. But nevertheless,
That won't get you now.
that won't be Nevertheless, what it got all around to is James forgot this plan. Tom, you know what Pony Express is? Yeah. He says that's where you horse around a little more. I don't know. Anyhow, y'all know who the best softball player in our class was? The best softball player in our class. Softball or baseball? Somebody I think answered properly. Arliss Page, the best one we had. Here's a softball. We found Arliss. This fella was mowing down there the other day and he found where it knocked clean out of the field. Everybody wanted her on their team. Better not, but anyhow. Well, you know, you leave from one thing, you get to sports, and you get back to seriousness. You know, I'm not sure who the librarian was that would let anything like this go on. But I understood that we had a person in our class, this feller, that was a knight of the round table. And anyhow, we've got this table. Mike, we understand that you sat around that table. Some of the girls told me that y'all wasn't studying, that you was always telling dirty jokes. I don't know who the librarian was. Let that go on, Mr. Roynell. You may want to have a chat with him. I don't know. Anyhow, you know, Mike said that he was a student. That's what he's always said. But anyhow, here's his table. You know, I don't know what it says accordingly.
Court jester of the round table.
Nevertheless, he, just like it was the other night, he didn't get home 9:30. Nothing ever happened. That's the way it was. Studying. Of course, those tables we had up there the other night, I don't think they're round, but they are. They're square, wasn't it? We'll clear you on that. Of course, I'm sure y'all remember Mr. Beecham's class. Remember geometry class. Remember how enthused Mr. Beecham was when it come around to Christmas? Well, it so happened this feller once upon a time decided that he wanted to decorate the geometry class. You know what Mr. Beecham's reply was? Freddie, with you in here, we don't need any decoration. Freddie said back there, I'm sure Mr. Beecham was thinking his name. But anyhow, this so happened that I think that's the only decoration we got in Mr. Beecham's class, Freddie. Nevertheless, of course, what Freddie was trying to do, he's trying to cheer us up a little bit. Of course, that'll lead you into cheerleaders. Of course, I don't know who all the cheerleaders was, but they tell me that there were some of them that could jump, they ain't gonna tell me how high, chew bubble gum at the same time. I ain't calling no names. They said especially if she had a hot date that night that she could jump and chew that bubble gum. I don't know who it was, but they told me it's dangerous. It seems like for some reason or other we got a little outfit here, and you know I think that looks pretty well. Of course, this is her bubble gum. She hadn't got it in her mouth yet. But anyhow, that worked fairly well. I think her hair was maybe fixed a little better, and I squashed it a time in the process. Anyhow, that got Dana.
Hey, Nelson. Hey, Rustin. Dana, did you come over to us?
Uh-oh.
Hey, that time.
Wait a minute.
Pulling Nelson's up.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I've got to go outside.
No.
You go. Go ahead.
Nelson, we heard
Uh-oh.
when we were in school, one of the many things we heard, you didn't have much faith.
I was thinking about girls, and Freddie said, shh. What do you think about that, James?
It always was thinking about it.
I always was thinking about girls. Well, anyhow, seems like at the fall festival we had one time, this girl, you know, she got around into several things. Quite a few of them we're not going to tell on her. Just so happens, the reason we're not going to do it is her husband's a minister. So we're going to let her out. Peggy, and we're just going to give you a crown and keep quiet. That's sort of the best way to handle things. Of course, you know, I'm not much on any forms and fashion. You noticed that, didn't you, Mitch? Nevertheless, you know, I've always wanted to get in on the good side of the teachers. And I, 2 or 3 times, and I tried to get everything set up with Roy Neal, sort of be on the good side of him when he was principal up there, and I didn't have no luck, Mitch. But I decided tonight that I'd get on the good side of Miss Smith. I've always wanted to give a teacher an apple. I brought it tonight. It's not too big. Nevertheless, I want her to have it. That's a real apple, too. That's a real apple. That's not a crab apple, really. So, you know that? I just want her to have it now. I may still not be on the good side of her.
That'll pucker me up still.
It's definitely not a crab apple, but it ought to be. Boy, you talk about speaking of the good old days. Does anybody remember our plays and dress rehearsal? Boy, I never seen like a head shaking and several of them was going the wrong way, saying no, no, no. Boy, I tell you what, the best I remember, we had one young lady that said, I'll furnish the chicken. I ain't gonna have to tell you who. She said, I'll furnish the chicken. I have to tell you, that's Ann Sanders. I think y'all know who she is. You know what Ann done to that old chicken? Yeah, she's a little relation to the Colonel, but let me tell you what she did to that old chicken. She put that chicken up to cook. She didn't give it no food, no water for about 3 days. She said, I'll take care of that chicken. Said, I'll house break it. Well, she brought that chicken to the rehearsal. Good thing it wasn't a play. But there wasn't too many there. Of course, just about the time that Ann turned that old chicken loose, got out on the stage, splat. All over she was. I mean, tell you what, it was rough. And we came up with a house-broken chicken. You don't think that's chicken? Well, it is. So you won't have to worry about putting that down. It'll work.
You remember that?
Oh, yes, I told you all this.
Things get better.
Bad, I couldn't even, oh, what does it do?
It don't do what yours did. Caroline, you thought our class was good, didn't you? I did too. So they started telling me about all these things, and I couldn't hardly believe it. Some of them were sure enough rough. Of course, it seems to me like that some of the boys, back when they became seniors, seemed to think that they pretty well grown up. It seemed like a couple of boys came to school one day. Mr. Wilson was having a birthday. Of course, I forgot this is Charles's, and this is Mitchell's. Mitchell's nevertheless, boy, I tell you what, Mitch is in on it. They helped them just a little, not much.
Yeah, we were only 2 confess to it, right?
Mr. Wilson had a little hard time teaching him anything else, but you know, he did get that across. Of course, I don't remember if y'all know anything, probably a few of y'all don't, but surely most of y'all remember the recess patrols. Who can grow odds and ends left for the Halloween festival, and we got them some handcuffs, badges, some little pistols, and fixed them some little tickets. We told them, we said, anybody gets too rowdy in the hall, gets walking too fast or anything, light them up, give them a ticket. And when they come in front of us, we'll throw the book at them. Who was the judge? But lo and behold, when lunch was over, guess who had to get back to class and grade papers real quick? Mr. Wilson. The wrong one. He goes down the hall to this line. Charles catches him and says, slow down. Of course, Mr. Wilson looked at him and sort of thought he was a fool. Of course, Charles thought Mr. Wilson was. He knowed he's fixing to give him a ticket to get slowed down. So he turns him loose, and Mr. Wilson takes a few more steps, and he gets another big hurry. Charles runs and gets him and says, I said slow down. Of course, he writes something out on that ticket, and Mr. Wilson didn't know what it said. I've got it tonight. Well,
You go right ahead.
Granny won't hardly read this, and I can't hardly see it. But anyhow, Charles thought he was writing him a speeding ticket, and it's a parking violation. He didn't know the difference. Mr. Wilson didn't either, though. It says, this is not a ticket, but if it were within my power, you would receive two. Because of your bull-headed, inconsiderate, feeble attempt at parking, you have taken enough room for a 20-mule team, 2 elephants, 1 goat, and a sapphire of pig mix from the African interior. The reason for giving you this so that in the future you may think of someone else other than yourself. Besides, I don't like domineering, egotistical, or simple-minded drivers, and you probably fit into one of these categories. I sign off wishing you an early transmission failure on the expressway at about 4:30 p.m. Also, may the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your armpits. That's what was really rough, is when things like this happen, I've got the king breaking right here. That's what really happened. You know what happened, and when things sort of went wrong, you remember how Roy Neal acted, don't you, Coop? I think we all do. But anyhow, if you don't know who hired that recess patrol, he's wearing a yellow sweater tonight. What the problem was on him is he sort of eased into that. Mr. Davis found out about it. He sort of got upset. He said, that's not much way to treat them boys. And so he calls a few boys in the class. I don't know who all was in on it, and how Roy Neal knowed who all was in on it, I don't know that. Then he called them in and he said, boys, he said, the thing you need to do is get those badges, get those guns, those handcuffs, bring them to my office tomorrow. I'm going to smell y'all. He said, this ain't too much fun about this. You know Charles. Them was his guns. You wasn't about to get them. I don't know what it cost Billy. He kept coming around and saying, boys, give me some more money. He may have made a profit off that for all I know, but anyhow, he kept trying to get those. And nevertheless, Billy, Charles sent you, he said his last set. I don't know if this thing works or not, but he said he had it loaded, ready to go, it works. And if you wanted to shoot Roy Neal tonight, go ahead and do it. Anyhow, I can't get it work. He said this is the last set he had, though. And he promised you that, so you don't have to buy any more, and surely Roy Neal won't say anything tonight. But of course, now, you remember Roy Neal, when anything was up, you know, he'd come to school with that necktie on. Anything wound up, he went dressed just about like everybody else. You know, boy, we know something's up the next day. He expecting to get those guns and badges and all that type of stuff, he's going to send some boys on. He came dressed appropriately. Only thing he done after he got the badges and everything, he took the tie off, and he clean clear forgot to get that thing. So anyhow, when he come in wearing that this morning, we all know there's something up. We know there's something bad up too. Now go ahead.
Isn't that nice, Tyler? Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice?
I wondered what I'd done with that. Good searching for
Choose your right hand, please.
Right hand, okay.
Repeat after me. Right hand.
Repeat after me.
I, Nelson Sanders,
I, Nelson Sanders,
will seek to find Charles Buster,
will seek to find Charles Buster
to give him back his bow tie.
to give him my Billy Cook and broad head. What about that, Bill?
I don't know anything about it.
Anything about it? That's rough. He thought he didn't know anything about it. He don't know anything about nothing. Billy don't, you know. That's the reason he wouldn't get up here tonight.
No, that's the reason Wayne's not here tonight, because I got blamed for half the stuff he did. Yeah, I figured I just had to say that after 28 years.
Okay.
I agree with you on that, Billy.
Well, now we know who's to blame, don't we, Harlan? Wayman got half of it, Billy the other half, so that leave all of us home free. Well, of course, do y'all remember who the littlest person in our class was? No, not tonight, Harlan. Y'all remember who the littlest? Tell you what, she sure thought she had everybody fooled, didn't she? She'd fool around. She'd try to pull things. They told me, they said, tell her that little half pint that she's into everything going, and sort of like Coop said, the girl said, we got blamed. She got tired, and you know, they said that she's a little half pint, little bit for some reason. I don't know what the score was. But anyhow, and they said she'd always be sitting there, and you could tell if she's into it because she's always a fiddling to something. So you little half pint, here's your half pint with some silly putty or something in, so you can just fiddle with it all you want.
I should have known.
I don't know if I told y'all earlier or not, there was 2 or 3 others that paid. Y'all thought they was going to come and eat. They didn't want to come and eat. Richard Pierce paid. He didn't want to particularly come and eat, but he wanted to come. And they told me that he was real good on hot wiring cars. This Smith, he's been out there working on your car all the time. He said to tell you that he thinks he got it fixed, but if he ain't, walk on. Nevertheless, I wouldn't doubt that since that you thought that you was sort of the same type of category that Ann was, that you was going to be the hen of the flock, that you'll probably think somebody drive you home tonight. Now, I don't know. By the time we get through doing everything that you've done, they probably, everybody say, walk home. But anyhow, here's your little plaque, and it says something about an old mother hen, and I think it's got a whole bunch of little chickens' names on it. And so anyhow, since Richard is out there working on it, you know, we saved him a lunch and it went out the back and everything, so everything's all right. See, so don't have to worry. Of course, y'all remember how Miss Smith was sort of always the mother hen. See, she's been trying to tell me what to do all night.
Habits are hard to break.
Habits are hard to break. She got up there the first night we met, and she said, you sort of keep us refereed. And she kept talking and talking, and finally I said, Miss Smith, shut up, I'm supposed to be refereeing. Not long, I had to leave it too. She throwed me out. back to geometry class. Well, she wouldn't have thought so much of Mr. Beecham, but if you know Mr. Beecham, you know, he's always serious, didn't have too much to joke about. Maybe Freddie, but that's about it. But this fella sat in geometry class, and our own Dana Fay sat behind him. Of course, Dana was always studying how to cheat, whatever, you know, to get the grade. So she had to do whatever cheerleading she had to do, and the work, you know, other things she had on her mind. So she'd try to goose him, to get him to let him cheat, or her cheat, on his geometry paper. He wouldn't do it. He knows Mr. Beecham. Harlan in 1 year. She's at least choice of who she's going to see. Well, you know, he said this wasn't worth the risk to cheat. So Ernie, it says avoid risk, think twice before you speak to a friend in need. He learned high quick to not say anything later.
Let me give you your voice a bit just a minute now.
Do what now?
Let me give your voice a bit. Shut up.
That's a bad year again.
No, that's a good one.
Go ahead.
That's a good one.
We got any coffee hid back there?
Yes.
Y'all give him some coffee, right? Now, listen to the instructions.
Listen
He's
to
going
this.
to tell you how to do it.
All right, so that's the way she spent all this time.
That's true.
I missed her on the wedding night. Go ahead, Miss Smith. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Not clear like a Boy Scout, but always be prepared. So, this is yours. And we need you to open it and hold up each item.
Take your
Hold on,
time.
each other.
Yes.
And I,
Take your time.
okay. Why me?
It's a
They told me they wouldn't put a thing on me if I'd get up here and do this. You can see how you trust them, bitch. You ain't through yet. Don't worry about it. Got my name on it, sure.
There you go, sir.
Huh? If I was going to have to do it, I ought to get tired open. Boy, I'll tell you what. Pour that knife at you in, Mitch. Don't kill it if it comes out. Y'all watch Mitch now. When he gets nervous, he starts biting his fingernails. Watch him up here. Oh, no. They told me that somebody else needed this. Joyce, I'll share it with you. Guess what's in it? Golly, Mitch, look in here. It's remove layers of paper one at a time.
And hold up each item.
Hold up each, shoo. Uh-oh. Extra choice. Pretty good. I bet it gets wetter. Ask Freddie. What'd they say about my patience, Freddie? Oh, Lord. There'll be a bottle of Gatorade in here in a minute. 644. Maybe Richard ain't in the bottle of Gatorade.
And tell us what it is. You're not holding it up long enough.
Not holding up long enough. This is the cob. That's the bottom of it. others got here sneaked in on us. That's good.
Join it right with
Yeah, just join the crowd. Do you see what they're doing to me? It's rough.
Gratitude.
We was probably floating along in geometry class there walking over. Lord, we're going to hit clean at Miami Beach. Look at faces. 2 or 3 of them get red. Well, tell you what, these moonlight strolls is what gets you on the beach. There's 2 or 3 girls the other night just kept leaving. They said, now don't say too much. Kind of calling no names. I see them sitting there and they're trying their best not to get red. They're getting redder and redder. Alice, it's you. It's you. Well, she got out. Of course, the moon might have been in the sky, but the star was in her eyes that night. She said she was out there on the beach shell hunting.
We didn't believe it,
We didn't believe it. None of us did. But have you been down there on the beach? You know, you can just pick up shells just everywhere. The only one that Alice Faye found was this one. She missed every one of the little ones, so ain't nobody believes that she's out there looking for shells. She's going to tell y'all now once we get through this and we get back to fishing, y'all will find out the rest of the story. I'm not Paul Harvey. I'm not going to get in on that. But she didn't find that one shell. Now, do you think that? There's all kinds of them there.
It took a long time to find it.
You know, they said a midnight stroll. I heard it was about 2 a.m. in the morning, or sort of like Mike's deal, 9 o'clock. I don't know about these deals. I never could tell much time, and I don't think they could either. Mike still can. Well,
How about the days when we're finished?
that's another story too, boy. It was good. Just let me tell y'all a little bit about this. We'll sidetrack this minute. James can't see too good. We had a classmate we kept trying to locate. She's not here tonight. And just so happened that her and her husband had divorced. James didn't know it. He kept inviting another woman. We like to never got through that. We met about 3 nights up here, and they kept telling James, they said, don't think she lived there. James said, yeah, I've talked to her. Come back up there, and they finally said, James, I said, there's divorce. James said, well, she's coming in here. But anyhow, this other feller had a little deal in Florida on the senior trip. Ones that's down there remembers that everybody almost had a water pistol. Rowan Hill remembers. Doris Jane remembers that. She kept saying, don't shoot, don't shoot. Rowan Hill, don't let them shoot. Of course, it seemed to be that they took a little water and a whole lot of shampoo in them water pistols. And if you could ever hit the eyes, boy, you got a stream flowing short of tears is what it was, But that's what happened. Well, everybody had their water pistols out shooting and having a good time that night. And supposedly, on that one floor, we had all the rooms. And just so happened that this old Cuban man and woman had a room sort of right in the middle of ours. Of course, a few people didn't know that. This feller was one of them that didn't know this, and he decides that he's going to sneak up and he'd check everybody's door. And when he could get the doors, if he found a door unlocked, he'd run, he's going to drench everybody. Well, old Tom, he runs in. He grabs this door and he turns the knob a little bit, and he draws back and he kicks it. He goes in. It wasn't none of our classmates, it was this old man and woman. You talk about who's excited, Tom was. If he could have understood what they said about him, got everybody out, you know, it was all excited. Of course, they thought they'd been robbed. They didn't know this water pistol. He was loaded for bear. Of course, as you can tell, you know, when things was up, going in always wore tight. And it's tight. He forgot that thing and left it. Back and come running. But nevertheless, I don't think he had to lead this group into temptation. They can find it themselves. But there's your water pistol, this sort of reminds me. He finally got us bailed out, I think. Of course, it seemed like they finally got through with water pistols and got to use glasses of water and works. It got pretty rough 10 minutes. Mitch says they said it did. I don't know where Mitch at. He probably locked out of his room. Well, let's go back to the schoolhouse now. Let's talk about a girl that was always, she looked at things and she'd say, well, anything, sugar and spice, gotta be nice. She looked at the bright side of everything. And then was into everything. Never did get caught. I don't know if y'all have any idea who they're talking about. Ain't hardly nobody fit that category. But anyhow, she had that attitude, and she'd pull things, boy, she'd just lick it right over on you. Get by with it. What's that problem with Mitch? You know, she's sort of like Wayne was. She could pull that and get by. Wayne, she ain't Mitch, she's grinning. She know who he's talking about. You know, she's in something continuously, but she get by with it. There's your little bunch of stuff sort of reminds you.
And your chewing gum.
I don't know, you might. It wouldn't be nothing, I guess, wrong to take him on the back. Now, this feller, he left to skip school. Wayne, what are you grinning about back there? You know, poor old Wayne Thompson, you know what he'd always, you know, he'd look you just straight in the eye and he'd say, now what are you talking about? He'd always ask you a question when he answered you. Still does pretty well. But he'd always get in on this. At the same time, he's trying to figure out some way to get out of whatever he's doing. But he's trying to throw you off track for a little while. And it pretty well worked. He got by with a whole lot of stuff. He wore out a pool ball. Wayne, we got it crazy. Now, Roy Bill don't have to take you on the back, no guess, but you know, he wasn't at school here as much as you thought he was. He said, what do you mean? Did y'all hear him back there? What do you mean? Well, Ann, you remember our class play, don't you? I do too. Well, I tell you what, some of them's rough. Well, y'all remember how people dressed up? Arlie sort of remembered how she dressed up. Of course, everybody remembered how old Chicken dressed up. And I think he's the eye catcher. Y'all remember Ruth? Ruth said, who, me? Look at her over there. She hadn't started turning red there. She thought she's out of this. Well, Ruth, some horse here, we've got the hat you wore. They told us that when you and Ben got married, that you didn't have this hat to wear. So if you outlive him and you go to another hillbilly wedding, there you have to wear it. Now wear that hat. Well, of course, those plays was pretty good plays. I reckon I was a tree, Mitch. I forgot what I was. But y'all remember who dressed up as women in those plays? Men that dressed up as women. Ann says yes. Who?
Billy was one of them.
Huh?
I think Billy was one of them.
I don't believe it was. He's shaking tell me how to go about dressing up. They said, all right. So he gets all the information. So backstage now where we're at. And he's telling Reuben how to dress up. He said, Reuben, they said, get a bra, get a football, and he said, dress up. So nevertheless, here's that bra, here's that football. Now Mitch never did get it from his sisters, and he's supposed to cut it too. And Reuben was back there trying to model this thing all together. They finally threw this thing down the stage back there and left it. That's where we found it. And they used a bra and 2 softballs. But if Mitch had just got straightened out on what they was doing, it saved a lot of trouble. Mitch, you can share that with Reuben if you ever seen it. Now he thinks that's bad. Now let me, I'm sort of like Paul Hart up there, the rest of the story. We got up there and they was getting these gag deals together. They kept saying, this didn't get this, that didn't get this. James says, I'm not getting the bra. Mike says, I ain't buying it. Guess who left to buy it? Me. Well, I went to Walmart's.
You had football.
I went to Walmart's, but I forgot to take the football. And I go back to the ladies' department, and I finally find all these bras hanging there. Of course, nobody told me anything about how to shop. And I go back there and I was trying to get this particular color, and I found it. And this lady walks up and says, what size you want? I said, fit a football. He thinks he's a bad boy. She said, where are you from? We've had fun on this thing, believe it or not. Well, this other girl we're going to talk about, she was quite fairly easygoing. Thought that nobody noted several of the little things that she'd done. Looking truly grinning over there. She knows what we're talking about. Look how red she's got, see if you don't believe me. See, you can just get started to tell things on them and they start turning red. Did you think there's this bad, Ron Neal?
They don't know which thing you're going to tell.
They don't know. Well, she was real good. She was real good on sort of smoothing it over, not letting anybody know what's happened. Well, her Vince is smooth, hers I ain't going to tell them either, but here's your honor to keep smoothing it out. Of course, y'all remember the recess patrol. Of course, y'all remember the Buster Singers, I guess, too. Coop's laughing again. Coop would have a great big certificate in the bank if he had all the quarters he gave him for singing. He spent a fortune. Well, just a quarter a song.
Okay, ours. He talked that. He's out everybody else to give him a quarter.
Yeah, he
He
did.
a quarter to get him. That's Charles the same.
Well, I'll let you say that, Wayman.
I don't remember any of that.
He said Wayman got him into all this. See what he's into all the time? Well, Marvin Dennis was supposed to come. He was in on this a lot. Marvin happened to have his birthday today. He was planning on coming. We got him a quarter here anyhow. We got him a little sign that says 48 isn't old if you're a tree. We're going to give that to him. He paid his fee, so we're going to make sure he gets that with the quarter. He'll remember those Buster Singers too. Now then, my understanding is things good happen that we didn't know know about, and that worked out pretty well. Of course, you remember who was pretty well the best speaker, or yeah, I thought he was the best, I guess. Maybe he was the best in our class. He come in late a while ago. Remember Rayburn? He did do a pretty good job. He could talk well. You know, well, my understanding that somewhere almost on this very location, Rayburn, they tell me up here at the fair one time that you won 59 golden cars. Fair and square. The Hart County Lottery. And besides, because he would look so young and innocent, they were going to let him have it. But you know how he can talk. He can talk his way out and wound up that car. Here's another. He won the lottery again tonight. Well, just so happens that y'all remember one of the younger teachers that started teaching in Cub Run. She sort of cut her teeth on us in sophomore class. We got the honors to have her with us tonight. Miss Medcalf, taught English. And boy, if we'd just had videos and things back then, it'd been rough, wouldn't it? But anyhow, she decided that since your voice don't sound the same to everybody else's as it does you, it'd be nice if she'd bring a tape recorder to class. Look at Miss Medcalf. She's already, they don't need to pray. She's already praying back there. She thought it'd be nice if she brought a tape recorder to class and that she'd let everybody get up and talk for a minute or two and then play it back so they could hear her voice. Which wasn't not a thing wrong with that. Went real well. About halfway through. And Wayne Jaggers gets up. Do you remember what he said? She says, I ain't talking. Well, you know, she says just get up and talk about your family or just almost anything. Well, you know how quiet and everything Wayne is. You know, he don't say it terribly a lot. He didn't say a lot then. He gets up, he says, old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her daughter a dress. The cupboard was bare, and her daughter was our guest. There's that daughter. Give that to Wayne Jaggers. His big guy said, sit down. I don't know if anybody else got the top on that thing or not. And I don't know if Wayne got to hear his voice back or not. But anyhow, you know, I guess that's what she looked like, you know. Didn't have a dress, that's her, we guess. Anyhow, that's for Wayne. And you lucked out, we didn't get you anything. Yes. I think it's this one. Y'all just sit tight just a minute, will you? We was talking about getting ready to eat. They said, get Roy Neal to ask the blessing. I said, no, I think it'd be nice if one of the classmates done it. And I said, I tell you what I think we'll do. I said, if y'all let me pick, I said, we'll get Freddie Rich, and if not Freddie, Harlan Bond. So Freddie drove around and didn't get her late. I told Harlan Bond. He said, no, get Freddie. Give me that advice real quick, you know. But nevertheless, he's always giving you advice. Some of it's good, and some of it's not so good, too. And when you took it, and it wasn't so good, he'd always just grin, say, don't blame me. You remember that, Harlan? I don't remember that, you. You don't remember that. Well, anyhow, here's your little advice button, Harlan. Just to make you remember it. I don't know what it says.
Take my advice, I'm not using it.
He never would. He'd get you in Squeaky. Look at Harold Wayne, he's done turned red. His wife done patted him on the back. Everybody knows who Squeaky is. Well, Squeaky, we was up there at Miss Smith's, she got a little pet mouse in her house. We chased that thing the other night, we never could catch it. But anyhow, Harold Wayne would use that little squeaky voice. This so happened in shorthand class, I was in there and I remember, Mr. Teller, he'd asked him something not even pertaining to shorthand. Get him talking. And of course, with that little squeaky, innocent voice, Mr. Teller tried to answer it. You know, he felt sorry for him. And we'd lose the whole class. He'd get through at the end of the class and he'd say, now Harold Wayne, don't do that anymore. And I won't. Mark, Mr. Cleveland, same old thing again. Harold, you drove a long way, but here's you a mouse. It's house broken. He'd always have that little grin. Of course, you know, a lot of times he didn't really know what he's doing. Of course, he didn't when he was a sophomore, because he told somebody, he said, I'm going to ask that new student for a date. That's Miss Medgate. Well, things gets better. Y'all remember anybody in class that always had good luck? She's fairly tall, blonde-headed tonight. Is Brenda holding up her hand? Well, let me tell you about Brenda's good luck. My understanding, one day Brenda got up and started school. What they tell me, she had some kind of problem and her dress wouldn't stay buttoned and she got her a safety pin. She pinned that thing. So anyhow, she gets to school and she gets up there and I don't know exactly what class she's in, or where she's all, or where she's at. I didn't get all the details. They would tell me about all this. But anyhow, that pin come loose. Brenda gets up. That dress didn't hold. Yeah, I don't know if you call that good luck or not. So anyhow, here's you some pins. I think she was sort of standing by.
I remember, but I don't know.
Of course, now other than that, up there, we found out a little bit more about this. Y'all heard of the second bull. You know, he's Indian. They told us that Brenda, standing there, was related to him. And James Craig told us his wife, Squat Heifer, was too.
Right outside the door.
Well, do y'all know the only classmate we got here tonight that decided that he couldn't stay with us for 4 years? Well, but he come back tonight. Jim volunteered, well, go, Jim. You got that in there. Jim Waddell. Well, he's been sitting here and listening to all that. He's got his opinion with us, I'm sure. Jim, it says I can read your mind, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Well, Cook, since he wasn't here to get his baby bottle, this was Wayne's. That's a puzzle. couldn't hardly find anything that he'd done that we could tell on him. And everybody we talked to said he got me in trouble. Well, I think there's a whole lot of greed. Dang, there's somebody's going to give him that puzzle. He can fiddle with that all he wants to. It's puzzling, though, how he got by and how he chickened out tonight. Well, if we forgot anybody,
Yes,
we surely have, because it seems like we've still got something. I don't know where it's all at. It just so happens, and don't go back to the senior trip down to Florida, except Joyce. She's hid behind Pauletta's knicker. I've seen her. She's just been doing this all night. You know, it's rough, you know. One of them, Drew, from Hart and Edmonson County, cub run to Kentucky, goes to a big place like Miami Beach, Florida, for a week. Well, it's a plum of shame. You know, what all they'll do. Of course, we done already found out that one girl went shell hunting. Guess what Joyce found? Dana's not going to open that gate.
no.
It just so happened that she found the turtle. We still got that thing. Well, it's not too stretchy, but remember that, Joyce? Look, she just had that there. Like a girl there. Well, it just so happens we went to a lot of expense on you reading your last. You've cost us a fortune. I'd like you to come up here at least about 2/3 of the way, if you don't mind. Dana's a little bit had problems with this thing, but we got that turtle shipped all over. Here he is. Come here. There you go. Get him, Joyce, get him. Now what we want done, see, it's got on its name, Class of '64, Joyce, says Stretchy in Kentucky. Now this thing's housebroken. We want you to take care of him to our next class reunion. Here's some mate for you. She's not going to talk too much about that turtle. If y'all will talk to her after a while, she'll tell you about them other sea creatures that she found. Joyce, come here a minute. They told me to definitely give you something that you could keep. There's your little turtle. Well, you keep that. We really didn't want you to have to feed that other one. Brenda's been nice enough. Hey, Joyce, you'll just keep this handy?
Joyce, you gotta take care of that now. And this, no, drive it, and feed it, bathe it, and get back once a week, and bring it back to the next place again. Oh, yeah. Take care of it.
Dana's been praying all week that thing had died. It's alive. It's alive. Get in there. I'm just
They can let it start for 3 days.
for a week. There you go.
Tom Smith, come up here. They're going to have these heavyweights on this. Smith, this is for you. There's you a towel. No, brush your shoes. She didn't think we kept these from her senior trip, did she? Boy, I tell you what, she thought that was rough, didn't she? Well, anyhow, she had a good time at it. The only thing she got a little upset is we run out of shampoo back on the back of the bus and we got squeezing orange juice in them. She didn't like that. You seen the size of that towel, didn't you? It sort of matched the apple. We wouldn't think you'd get too dry either. Okay, now we got a few gifts we're going to give out here in a minute. We're trying to get out of the serious part of the program back into the jolly part or something like this. So we get sort of mixed up on what we do part of the time. We said something about grandkids a while ago. Charles won the prize, by the way, regular. He's got a 3-year-old or under. He got 3 baby bottles. Nevertheless, we talk about grandchildren. How many's got more than 5? How many's got more than 4? How many's got more than 3? Got 3 or 4? Hold up your hand high. 3 grandkids. Well, that's one of the prizes you get tonight for having the most grandkids. And guess what that prize is? Clown. She's been a clowning around a lot. So Alice gets the clown. Well, of course, we got one for the farthest distance. I think that stands to reason that Harold Wayne gets that one. We sort of was hoping he would. We sort of appreciated him for driving this far. You know, it probably, he's went farther out of the way than any of the rest of us to be with us. I appreciate that he's made that effort and he's come. And I'm tickled to get to see him, even though he don't look too hot. But nevertheless, for the farthest distance, don't be a drinking and driving. Now, the winners are. Now, if y'all don't agree with this, I don't know what to tell you. Anyhow, the one that changed the least, boy, you would have thought of anybody, wouldn't you? It's one you. I seen him. Did you see me start to get that finger up? I thought you were lying. Look at him. He's shaking that head, too. Wasn't you either, Wayne Thompson? Arliss Page Benson. Changed the most. Kids get more when you look at it. Harlan Bond, he's been real slick ever since he didn't have to ask the blessing. When I gave him the unblessed food, he was Tom Smith. That box right under there. Oh, we strung out stuff all over the place, didn't we? You talk about messy. You talk about messy. I've got mine right here. Where y'all at? We do appreciate the teachers that come. Again, as I said back in front, Miss Smith, hush. She told me last 2 or 3 days, she said, your voice will be all right now. I'm going to have to talk over her all the time. Nevertheless, we do appreciate the teachers. I think even more tonight. We appreciate the job that they've done with us, the patience they had with us. When you stop and think of all the things that we did do, Think how they did treat us. You know, it makes us respect them even more, I think. And I appreciate the ones that come tonight. Others would have loved to come. Mr. Beecham said he wasn't able to drive tonight to come. As others could have come, loved to go. We appreciate y'all coming. We sort of let the teachers accept Mr. Wilson get out of the gag gifts. Of course, we couldn't let him and Charles get back. And of course, Roy Neal and Pat, if they was going to get to take a picture with us, they might as well be in on it too. But the other teachers, we didn't try to pull gag gifts on them. We did try to get them a little token of appreciation so that they could remember this by. Hopefully, they'll enjoy it and at least remember this class. I think that every one of us will remember tonight. Best, I remember we had a get-together when we had been out of class about 10 years. I don't know how many was there, but I don't believe that we thought about enjoying ourselves and visiting, looking back as much as what we do tonight. More time has slid by, and we're settled down more. Well, Coop may not be, but anyhow. But anyhow, I think that we've settled down more, and we've got a little different viewpoint on life and it works. And we're glad to get together. I think that people like to just visit, be with each other, and enjoy each other. Now, not that we didn't enjoy ourselves. I enjoyed myself at the 10-year one, but I've enjoyed myself tonight. I'm going to take a couple of these pills as quick as I get changed, but nevertheless. But anyhow, Miss Willadine Childers, if you'll come forward, we got you a little gift. It's definitely not a gag gift. We've really got you a little iron that you can use. And these gifts has been donated and purchased, this, that, and the other. And Brenda Trulock is the grandma of these. Miss Smith kept blabbing out her married name, and I would call her Brenda Trulock. That's who I know. Nevertheless, you know, she's trying to bail me out. See, but I know how to get out of things. Nevertheless, Brenda's done a good job on these. She enjoys doing that type of stuff, and we're tickled to death that she did this and helped us out on this. And hopefully, tonight, we didn't take money for anything except meals and rent on this place. And these girls have worked on it, donated money and time and works. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Brenda put a whole lot of work in this. Alice Faye has. Dana's not done much. She's been hearing me all night. She sent out, Joyce has called, and I'm sure if you didn't get a phone call from somebody, you sent your money in reasonably quick. And if you sent your money in reasonably quick, they kept checking and said you one day. And that's the reason we got a good turnout. You know, we got a good turnout tonight, and there's been a lot of work in it. Buddy Case, he's been wanting to leave for 30 minutes. Anyhow, hold that up to where they can sort of see it. Brenda does a good job. Look there.
Nobody wanted me to come. I didn't find out about this till today.
Janice, did you see about that coffee pot? Don't put nothing in it either. Miss, you ready? Virginia, you ready?
Bring it back empty.
Yeah,
Right.
he did want the pot, didn't he?
Oh, surely we could think of something to pull on Miss Metcalf while we got her up here. I think she prayed that off while ago.
This has been super.
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Metcalf. Well, I'm about to miss you as big as you are.
Hey, you'd think after while this year, she's got a little shorter.
Yeah. Well, my legs hurt more than to kick me there. She said, I'll kick you if you forget anything. She just tell me what you ought to forget. Well, Miss Smith, next. Now, Roy Neal's next. Roy Neal's next. How about Jim Allen? I don't know what yours got on it. Can you see that? Look how he's trying to draw it up there to me.
Horse like that, it's got duck on. Weed duck, sweet with duck.
Yeah, well, see, you said it's got ducks on it, didn't you? That's what I was thinking. It had ducks on it. See, we done give Miss Smith hers. It's got chickens on it. And we sort of pulled it on her just a little bit quicker. Nevertheless, well, let me tell you one other little story. Go get my coffee, James. I was going to tell a story on you anyhow. I started with you and I'm going to end with you. Y'all don't know James hardly as well as I do. I've been around him a whole lot. Him and Linda went to bed the other night. They was laying there. And Linda said, James, said, if I die, would you go marry again? James, he said, well, he said, jump I am. So I don't know. Said, probably will. Well, they laid there a little while longer, a few minutes, and then gouged him again and said, James, if you marry again, he said, you going to move in our house? James said, well, probably will. He said, they don't need to find another one. Well, a few minutes more, James was about asleep this time. She punched him again. She said, would you let her wear my jewelry? James said, well, they don't need to let it go away. She said, probably would. Well, Linda still didn't go to sleep. She said, James, would you let her use my golf clubs? He said, no, she's left-handed. Okay, you can take it. Okay, so my timer.
Helen,
Oh, Lord.
for all the work you've done and how we appreciate it on this, we're giving you a solid $1.
Well, good. Said, well, come on, it's got a church on it. They know me. 10 minutes. I thought Ron Neal probably got the church. Boy, I got that. I appreciate that. I like it. Brenda does a super job. You know, if I had that type of patience. No, I don't.
Yeah, that patient kept helping paint, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about that coot. They may not know everything about me. Well, everybody enjoyed tonight.
Yeah.
Anybody not enjoyed tonight? Let's give a big hand. Well, it's going to be probably a long night. They told me that we could visit as long as we want to. They'd leave dessert back here, coffee and tea. You can eat and drink. What you might want to do is, since this is the 28th, that's been 18 years, I think, since the 10th. I believe I had Mitch and John here too. I don't know where I subtracted that. Nevertheless, y'all might want to do such thing as talk amongst yourself when you'd like to have another. Because I organized it and it works. I think it's been some of these girls have been wanting to organize this for about 3 years. And everybody says, why the 28th? Well, I don't know why the 28th. It just, well, then the 28th is the 30th and it works. And if somebody wants to organize one the 30th or the 35th and it works, you can sort of talk about it. Y'all need to think about it and it works. Now, I'd like to next time let somebody else get up here and talk, and I'd like to listen. I've enjoyed it, but it sounds different from back there too. You know, and I'd like to enjoy it. I enjoyed the other one. I think Billy got up there the last time, and he said, duh. you know, Pauletta says I've talked in my sleep, everything else. Now I want you to know, Charles, I'm in competition with that next baby mama. I don't care what the rest of you.
That Patty Nelson?
Okay, we have done one other thing. Pauletta, after all of us got into doing all these odd things and coming up with gag gifts and the works, if somebody would help Miss Smith and Roy Neal up here, I'd like for them to come forward. Nevertheless, we've got them a couple of little plaques, and it says exactly the same, only it says Pat and Roy Neal. It says an appreciation for friendship and guidance through the years. And I think we all appreciate them, not only as senior sponsors, but anytime we've run into them in the last 28 years, they give us good advice and tried to help us. So we wanted y'all to have these plaques, and we're going to give it to you. And I'll get a hug.
Listen, kids. Excuse me. And I have the floor.
You can have the floor. You can say whatever you want to do. You can have the floor, and then Roy Neal can say whatever he wants to.
Okay. I've had wonderful time tonight. It's so good to see all of you, especially my kids. Y'all know who you are. I love you. Always will. You're very special fighters. Each of you is special in own way. We had lots of fun together. You won't talk about all the time, they should have. But I am deeply honored of this class and sincerely thank each and every one of you. Thank you, kids. Love you. May God bless you.
Look back through the years and what this class has meant to me, working in the community that it is, living in the communities we're part of it, seeing others at different times, brings back some good memories to me. The thing that I'm really proud of is what most of you have been able to do with your life, regardless of what we did to you.
Amen.
But life has been good to me. I think we've been able to, I've been able to visit with you, look back at the good times that we've had together, and you're a very special part in our life. Thank you.
We did almost, you know, we goofed off and we almost was forgetful to get a little plaque of appreciation, but you know, it's fitting and appropriate. You know, the help they've been to us to get that, and it looks rather well, and hopefully they'll cherish that and remember us as they go down through life. And the next 28 year, we'll get still just as much friendship and pass on. Now, does any of you other teachers want to say anything? We want to give y'all opportunity. You want to say anything? We'll gladly open the floor to you. We're going to visit here after all. We're going to try to eat up every bit of that cake stuff. I've just about got through talking, and I'm ready to eat. So, you know, anybody else? Miss Childers?
Well, I didn't have all the class, just,
You couldn't have stood all of us, could you?
no, but it was my first class teaching. I taught 31 years, but this has been one that stood out in my life. And I've always considered top class. And I'm glad that I have every one of you. I'm sure I made mistakes. You made mistakes. But we all love each other. And I look back upon, and I didn't have my college degree at that time. And I remember that class so plainly. I had a nephew in the class, a brother in the class. But my nephew, Harold Wayne Elmore, about worked me to death. He'd bring buttons, everything to class, and I had to work myself to stay up with him in the third grade. So it was good. Good memories. Still. Yes. And I've enjoyed this night. I don't know when I've ever relaxed so much.
Ms. Metcalf.
Tonight has been really special. You all were a very special class in 22 years. As good or maybe the best class I've ever had.
We enjoyed, I think when we look back, we enjoyed all of our teachers. At the time, we thought some of them was tougher than others. But when we look back, we enjoy and appreciate what they did for us. And I think we'll all do now. Mr. Metcalf.
We were just young people ourselves, my wife and I, when we were down in Tub Road. And we've talked many times about this class being so special to us. We really appreciate being invited tonight.
Ms. Rich.
That's me.
Ms. Page, let's see.
Everybody sit this page.
Ms. Page, yeah, Ms.
So here I sit and I'm surprised. No, I thought you were going around this way. No, thanks a lot for asking me tonight. I really have appreciated it. I think this has been a great night. I've enjoyed seeing all of you. Some of you I've forgotten, but I'm sure you had me too. It's been a long time, but I've really, really enjoyed it. I almost miss Mike. Some really, but like he said, I was young when I taught you, and you have matured. I haven't changed as much because I was already mature.
Well, you don't look American.
Know that it took me a long time to learn things. It took me a long time to find the woman that would have me.
It took me a long time to figure out how to get children up here. I didn't have Miss Smith with me. One thing that I'm especially pleased of is this, because it was done by a person that was one of my students, and with her own hands, and it's something that I will always cherish. And another thing that all of you that know me, something that's always been a trademark of mine, everybody's always said that if you don't see a smile on his face, then there's something wrong with him. I smile a lot because I'm a part of everybody that I've ever known. And everybody that I've ever known, and especially people from home, make me happy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we were talking about how young teachers were.
Right, yeah.
Well, I had a student, one of my students came up and he said, Miss Childers, when I was in your class, said you was Miss Smith, and we got married that year, and he said, you broke my heart because I had a crush on you. We were young.
Well, we know that Miss Metcalf was because our real good.
There's just one thing, please.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Smith. Last time.
One more time, now shut up. I knew they were going to pull games on me, and I'm surprised that y'all could do as I did.
Night's not over.
But I've always treasured class. They never completely encased it again, so I won't figure it out.
Larry, you go to the band.
Oh,
She go with her band too, will you?
But no, all joking aside, this,
Stand outside the door, Larry, we holler for you. Okay.
no, what is this?
Go ahead, Miss Smith.
Please. I'll tell you this
Are
class.
you done?
No. I'll tell you this class forever. You are in my heart. You'll always be each and every one of you. Good and bad, good times and bad times. You're all good kids. And you're right kids. Ladies.
Yeah, I'm sure that we all had a good time tonight, and if we had got together and hadn't pulled any gags, it'd been hard to tell something on everybody. It'd been hard to learn how to dress football. We learned things tonight, but nevertheless, it's took a right smart little bit of time, but I think everybody's enjoyed it. And I'd much rather got into a joking mood and enjoyed it, sat up here and been scared to death, not knowing what to say or what to do from the works. Billy Cook and Road, would you come back up here? He was class president. Wayman got him into all the trouble. Here's the rest of Charles Bullis. He said he was dressed real good. Dana, what you sit down for? Come here. This thing ain't over yet. Well, what? Here's the rest of your bubble gum. Bubble gum.
Thank you.
See if Larry's door. Somebody open the door for him, Dana, while you're up. Okay, y'all don't know it, but you talk about how young everybody is. I told you about Marvin having a birthday. They tell me there's other people that's getting older. My understanding is Miss Smith's got a birthday coming up. Sometime towards the first of the week. Somebody worked on her hair. They messed it. You'll sort of see it's thinner on one side than it is on the other, and it's off colored and the works. But anyhow, if somebody Dana maybe can see how to read that to her, so she won't have to get up. We're gonna have her eat this plain cake whether she likes it or not.
I'm gonna see it.
Take it back there where she can see it, and let her look at that little clown, or what is that on there?
Flag collar.
Me?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that's good.
Or the other half is free.
I can't remember.
How about a half term guaranteed to not fail, or the other half is free?
Miss Smith, can you see this far off?
Yeah, except you got the wrong date, but that's okay.
I don't believe you can see.
Oh, the place open.
Well, anyhow,
Read it, gentlemen, so everybody knows what it is.
happy birthday on October the 26th. That's not today. That's not her age either. Miss Smith, from your kids, class of '64, we love you. This immaculate package contains something every little old woman needs. Now, we'd love for you to open that. We'd love for you to open that package now.
Really?
Really?
That's the birthday with it. Okay, here goes nothing.
Get it up there where everybody can see it now, don't you? Now, you made me.
Remember the last few words on the poster.
Yeah. Something every little old woman needs. Oh, me. Wayne Jagger, she ain't got a thing on you.
Hang on.
Well, as slow as you are, I'm glad I didn't have you on there with me that way, man. Oh, man.
Little old man.
Every little old woman needs a little old man. Now we're winding down. We're going to get back to visiting in the works. Miss Smith has got a little deal here that she wants each graduating class member to get from her as you get ready to leave or while you're visiting and talking in the works. Since Jim's the only one here that's not a graduate, he don't get one. But he ought to stay with us if he wanted one. He's lost out. Now that's a little token from her. She wanted everybody to have that. And you can get that. Visit, stay as long as you want to. I've enjoyed it. God bless you, and I hope I see you forever. Hope y'all live forever.
It's got some bottom.
Are you eating again? Is your feeling better?
Wear that hat. That's a real apple, and I've had that in the refrigerator for over a week.
I wouldn't have wanted to miss this, would you?
Ran out of coffee.
I said, the person that didn't Joyce up here tonight, it was his fault.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they, you know.
Yes.
Good door prop had.